Hi everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and this week I'm going to show you how to make this card. I call this abstract because of the shape. It's just abstract on the front of the card. It's a really easy card, very effective. This is done with retired designer series paper, and this is crumb cake, but we're going to do ours in Blushing Bride and Poppy Parade today. Excuse me. So let me put these on one side and show you what we're going to need. It's not a real lot of things actually, believe it or not. So we're going to need a card blank, and this is in Blushing Bride, and this measures 11 3/4 by 4 1/8. For our layers on the front, we're going to need one layer that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and another layer, which I'm layering the same on top again, in 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So we've got Blushing Bride, Poppy Parade and Blushing Bride. We're also going to need for the front two more layers, another one in Poppy Parade which measures 4 1/8 by 3 3/4, and another piece which is designer series paper, and in this case this is the Flowers for Every Season, and this measures 3 7/8 by 3 1/2. For our insert, we're going to use another Poppy Parade one, which measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and our panel for writing on, or our sentiment, will be in white, which measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Now that's all the bits we're going to need. I'm going to put that on one side, and I'm only using one stamp set called Peaceful Moments, because I'm going to use the happy birthday and wishing you every happiness this special day will bring, and I'm going to stamp that using my Poppy Parade ink. So without a doubt, there isn't a real lot to do. I'm going to put some basic gems on this one just to finish it off, but basic pearls rather, just to finish it off. But other than that, all you're going to need is your ink of glue. Ah, goodness. So let's start. We're going to start with our card base and bring in my board, and I'm going to score this on the long side at 5 7/8. So that's all the scoring we're going to need. Everything else we're doing by hand, and there isn't any other scoring, but everything else that we do for the card is by hand. Okay, so let's fold and burnish this over so that, that's not very straight. Don't know what happened there. Never mind. We fix, and nobody knows. There we go, and that's our card base. So what we're going to do first, believe it or not, is we're going to be using our layer 3 and 4 first, and we're going to glue those two together. So this is beautiful on the other side, so if you wanted to do this in Bumblebee, you could do it in Bumblebee. You could do it in any colour. When my mum was up on the weekend, we actually did this as a man's card using the Clubhouse paper from last season, and it came out beautiful. My mum needed a male birthday card, and we did it for her for that. Okay, so now we've done this. If you've got directional paper, that's okay. It doesn't really matter. All you need to do is make sure that your paper is the way up you want it to be. So now we're going to work out how we want this onto the front of our card, and when we're happy with how we've got it, which depends on what you want out of it, we can then pop it on here. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to stamp my happy birthday down in the left hand corner. That way I know that I've got enough room for it. So let's use my Poppy Parade ink and my happy birthday and stamp that down in the right hand corner down there. That's that done. Let's pop the lid back on that so we don't get it everywhere, and then we can pop this on here how we like. So if we want it, I think I would like mine a bit like that. I think maybe a bit lower. Okay, I'm happy with the way that looks like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to turn this over and I'm going to draw on the other side on my red piece, like so. So I know where to put my ink, my glue. I keep saying ink, my glue. So I'm going to put my glue on here. And then I know where to pop this back on here again as well. So I can then pop that back onto the back here, and I know that it's in the right spot, or as close as it can be in the right spot. And once we're happy with that, we can just pop it down nice and hard, and it's going to be staying there nicely. Okay, so we don't need our pencil anymore. So once we've got that onto the front of our card, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over again, and using our scissors we're going to actually trim away the red pieces that are hanging over the top of a other piece of card. What this will do will make it all the same length, and as you can see, now we can see the abstract. So let's pop those in the rubbish bin because we don't need them, and we're going to then get our piece for the front of the card, and we're going to pop that onto there. By doing that, these lines look like that's how they're supposed to be, matching up with it as well. So let's pop this onto the front of the card of layer 1. And we can pop that onto the front of that piece there like so. Oops. Very happy with the way that's looking, and I love that abstract. It's just so gorgeous. And we can then pop that onto the front of our card. Oops, nearly dropped my glue on the floor. We don't want to do that. And there we go. Now, as you know, I didn't put any gems on the front of my other card, but we will when we get around to finishing this one off. So we pop that on one side, and now for the insert, as I say, this is just a very, very basic card, but it's just very, very effective, and sometimes you just need that, and it's a great way to use up any of your smaller scraps of your designer series paper. So let's see, we're going to pop our wishing you every happiness this special day will bring into the middle of our card. And then we are going to then just glue this to our other layer. Like so. And then onto the insert of the card, inside of our card. Like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put a few gems on the front. Let me find my picky tool. There we go. I'm going to pop some gems on the front of the card, and I think what I'm going to do, because I don't have many of these left, is I'm going to put one large one here and two small ones either side of it. Come on, get up. There we go, and that's our card. Now how much easier can you get than that, and how beautiful does that look? It's just stunning to think that something so simple could look so beautiful. As I say, I like to start in my left hand corner and move my card around, but it's up to you if you want to start in your right hand corner and move it around. I just think they're gorgeous cards, and I hope you've enjoyed this week's card. If you would like the written tutorial for this card, just follow the link at the bottom down here, and it will tell you where you can get it, which is Di's Den for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. That's my Facebook group. You will be able to catch this on my blog as I've used Poppy Parade, and this is going to be one of the colours that is coming up in the colour creation, so I will be using this card for my colour creation card. If you would like off my blog and you'd like to a newsletter, please subscribe to my newsletter. You can also check this out on my Pinterest board. So if you would like to see any of the things that I've made over the years, you can check them out on my Pinterest board. Please follow, as this will help me get more coverage, and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.